Okay, folks, I'm getting ready to go do a little paddling and probably a little fishing. I doubt if I do very much catching, but anyway, I want to put some new line on my reel because I haven't done it in a while. And this is how I've been doing it for years, and it works out real well for me. And what I have here is a plastic lid. I don't remember where I got this, off a a pickle jar or something. We all throw lids away all the time, so no big deal getting one of those. And I've run a screw through it, and I put this screw through the line spool, and then attach it to this 2x4 here. And what the goal is to not get my line all snarled. Now, I don't work for Berkeley, get no money from Berkeley, but I've been using this Trilene XL line for a good 40 years, and I just haven't found anything I like better. Now, I know that might be a contradiction in terms because I have this cheap line spooler here that it's on, but I've got to have good line when I fish. It's very important, and you don't want that line to be twisted either. So that's what we're doing here today. I know I said snarled, and people are going to talk about line twist, but I want this line to come off of here counterclockwise, because the fishing reel, the spinning reel, is also turning, if you look at the back of it, in a counterclockwise motion. So you want the line and the reel to be turning in the same direction, and this is how you stop from twisting your line all up. Okay, I have my line attached to the trailer. Now I need to attach it to my reel. Now what I like to do, it's real simple. I put a loop in the end of the line, and I pull the line through that loop, giving me this circle, sort of like a rodeo lasso. And I want to take that and put it on the reel, but first I want to show you something else I do that's on the cheap side. I put rubber bands around on the inside of my reel spool. No fisherman ever uses all the line he puts on his reel. I don't know why spools are as deep as they are. Now, if you're out in salt water, I can understand that. You're fishing for a shark, it might rip off a couple of 100 yards, but fishing freshwater for catfish and brim and bass and stuff like that, you just don't need all that line. But anyway, I'm going to start reeling this now. And you want to keep tension with your finger back on the reel, but you don't need a whole lot of tension right there at the spool. And so I'm going to reel this off a little bit. And after I reel off, well, I don't know, I'm going to say about, you don't have to do but about 10 yards. After you do that, you can put some slack in the line. Let me reel a little more here. You can come up and put some slack in the line, and after you put some slack in the line like that is right now, if that line was twisting, I mean, it would twist up like some little girl's braided hair right now is what it would do. And that's what you call line twist, and that's what you get if you improperly install your line. So this is going real good right now. It's not twisting at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of it on this reel without making you watch it. And I'll be back in just a little bit to show you something else. Okay, I've got my line onto the reel real nice. Usually you want to take it up to about 1/8 of an inch down from the top of the reel. And I take this piece of tape. This is one that came from the Trilene line. I take that and put it on this spool, and that holds my line down. Now I also keep a roll of that, I think they call it surgical tape. It's stuff you'd use to hold a bandage down. I keep a roll of that I can do the same thing with. Snip a little piece off, and that works real well for me. One reason I want to put a piece of tape on this spool right here is because this is actually going to be my backup spool. The second spool that I put line on, which is one in my right hand right there that you can almost see, is the one that I'll be using when I go fishing. So I'll take that one off, put this one on, and I'll spool it up, and I'll have that with me if I end up having some line abrasion, or if this line I'm pointing at goes bad or something like that, I can just switch that out. Now, you don't want to get down a river on a 2 or 3 day trip, or even on a lake if you're camping out. You don't want to fool around with spool and line and all that. You'd rather spend time enjoying yourself. And I never buy a reel that doesn't have a second spool. And if I did buy a reel that didn't have a second spool, I would buy a reel where I could, from the manufacturer, buy another spool. So that's what this deal is all about. No line twist, second spool, and have a good day's fishing. Okay, so that's how I put the line on my fishing reel. And I know some of you are going to tell me that I could go out and buy a spool filler machine for 20 bucks or 50 bucks, but why do that? I found the lid, I found the screw. That's always with me. It cost me nothing, I'm saying, and it works just as well. So I hope this helps some people in spooling up their reels and getting ready to go. I always do that a couple days before I take off somewhere. And it makes for a real good trip, having a reel that's properly spooled. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it.